Hey guys, what's going on? It's Joseph Menzel, Managing Director of MassiveJoes.com. I'm here with three-time 212 Mr. Olympia, Flex Lewis in the house. What's up, my man?
Yo, my friend, how are you doing?
How you doing?
Good.
Good. Now, Flex, man, we get a bunch of questions directed at you in particular, man, and this is our opportunity to ask you these questions for the viewers at home, get a bit of insight to Flex. The first thing is, where did the name Flex come from? Obviously, your real first name is James.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So where did the nickname Flex come from, man?
It actually came from, believe it or not, nothing to do with bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Rugby.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, rugby. It was actually given to me when I used to play rugby union, which is the real rugby for all you Aussie guys out there. Don't kill me. Yeah, playing on the wing, that was my position. Little speedster, 6 years old, that's when I picked it up. I could get out of any tackle, so again, that sort of a name stuck with me. And it went all the way through school, all the way through college. So even the teachers, college lecturers, even family members all call me Flex. So it's something that stuck with me, and the only time I get called Stephen or James is normally when I'm going through TSA or security or something like that. So to me, you know, that name has been embedded in me since a very young age, and you know, it's just weird now that many years later I get into this sport.
Well, I was going to say, and that's probably a pretty good segue, man, is, so you spoke about rugby when you were younger. Where did bodybuilding come from? Like, how did you get into bodybuilding, I guess?
Well, believe it or not, my auntie went to one of Tom Platz's seminars. She was a nurse in London, and she attended one of his seminars and brought home his encyclopedia, Tom Platz's encyclopedia. Me being this nosy little kid, 12 years old, going through a little wardrobe there, and discovered this book. And you know, growing up around wrestling and stuff like that, I always had a fascination with strength, physiques.
Yeah.
I seen the odd Arnold film here or there, but nothing really hit home until I seen this book. And I was flicking through and I seen Tom Platz's legs. And unlike most people, they want to get in, get the big arms, big chest, whatever that be. It was me, it was like the legs. It was like, what the hell was this?
Yeah.
So I remember digging out this old set of weights that my dad had up in the shed, and waiting for my parents to go away for the day, and rolling these weights down the high set of steps that I had outside in the shed, and getting them into my room step by step, and squatting every single night. And I remember putting the weights on my bed, getting on my back, and 1 rep then turned to 2 reps, 2 reps turned to 3 reps, and so on until I had a little workout regime going on. So I wanted legs. Point blank, big legs. And if you can look at my early photos when I played rugby, I was a set of legs and a set of calves. And then when I got into the bodybuilding side of things, you know, I had pretty decent built legs and a 19-year-old upper body on my first show. So thank goodness that carried me on a lot of my junior years going through the sport.
Absolutely. So when did you start? I mean, when did you first compete? How old were you?
I first went into the gym. Now, to pick up on the back end of that story, 12 years old, I got caught in my room making all these crazy noises. I'm sure at that age my parents thought, what the hell, testosterone going on in that room. I think my parents were expecting a different result when they opened the door, but I think they were relieved when they see a set of weights, as opposed to anything else, I suppose. But then when, again, you know, they said I was too young, they put the weights away. A couple of years went by, I was in school, and I got with my PE teacher at the time. He showed me proper form for the first time, building my upper body for rugby, transcended into powerlifting, which helped my rugby. And 17 years old, I probably joined my first gym, I would say, and I started powerlifting, again, competitively. So I'd done pretty well with that. I won the Welsh and the British title with that. But it was something, you know, for me, there was more to the whole weightlifting side. So I started doing a lot of bodybuilding movements, and like I said, I started building up a decent physique for my age, and I grew pretty fast. But I still played rugby. Wasn't eating any type of meal plan. So up until 19 years old, 18 I would say, I seen this poster on the wall. This is how I got into it. And the gym owner said, hey, you want a free gym membership? Of course. money wasn't, an easy option back then. So
Yeah.
free gym membership, thought, shit, yeah, why not? I've done so many different sports.
Yep.
And I committed myself to the show and done my own diet. And I started training with a local bodybuilder. And needless to say, I jumped in and had the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done a multitude of high-level sports. I've run for my country. I played rugby at a high level. But bodybuilding to this day was a different level.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, to me, is what interests me the most. And,
Yeah.
to pick up on the back end of that, I'd done that show.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I met Neil Hill, head judge at the time. Came up to me after the show. He said, when you do the British Championships, 4 more weeks. I can't do it. I want to eat this big bag of chocolates. Fuck that. I can't do this shit. He said, just hold on 4 more weeks. I'll help you out. A tremendous amount more food. I was like, there's no way. More food, knowledge, took over my training. I was 8 pounds heavier in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Stupid conditioning.
Wow.
And if you see me at 19 years old, I shredded glutes back then. And then the rest is history. I ended up being seen from photos on the internet or whatever it was. Ed Connors, who was one of the owners of Gold's Gym, the original owners.
Yep.
Got hold of these pictures, and next thing I know, I was on a flight to LA.
Yeah.
So it went bing, bang, boom.
There you go.
And next thing I'm in LA explaining why I have the nickname Flex. When it's already a flex out there. So that was my next battle. So
There you go.
it was, whether it was fate, whether it was, right place, right time, whatever it was or whatever it is, I'm not going to question it. To me, everything happens for a reason.
Absolutely.
And for me, my path was carved for rugby.
Yeah.
And again, it's gone full circle now, and I'm here giving an interview, at a fantastic training session here around great people.
Yeah.
In Australia, Adelaide.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So I guess just to follow on, you said that first bodybuilding competition was one of the hardest things
Definitely.
that you've ever done. How do you go about, there's no questioning that your condition on stage is different level. Amongst the top pros, just the consistency with the condition is amazing. How do you go about your contest prep these days? Do you, like a lot of pro bodybuilders, do you isolate yourself from everything, or do you find that having friends and family support along the way helps you out? What's your kind of, how do you deal with that?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I have a great support team around me.
Yeah.
Could I go into my cave and just do my thing? Absolutely. Would it aid my prep? Absolutely. But I'm the champion, and for me, I have a fan base out there that deserves to see a process, that deserve to see an outcome, and to see a journey. And I actually enjoy seeing the process when it's done. Back myself.
Yeah.
At the time, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's tiring, and there's days that I don't want a camera on me. There's days that I get up and I'm tired, of course, but I've got things in my mind that motivate me. I don't have the luxury of having my family around me. The creature comforts of going to see my mother when I can or whatever else. So I've got, like I said, a great support network around me that support me, from the ups and downs, in the hardest days and the best days, and it just pushes me harder because I get that great fan response when I post things online. I remember coming out here, like for example, there's fans that I've met 4 years ago that stand in line now that for an hour that I met, that just walked up to me at one point in time when I had no fan base or very little. So they say, I motivated them, I done this post. Now for me, it just hitting send on that particular day and putting a message to it, yes, it's meaningful for me, but to somebody the other side of the world or seeing that message at that particular time was a moment that, got them through a day, got them through a workout, whatever it was and whatever it is. It's a blessing to then hear that, when I'm going through my prep and looking for motivation myself, just as they are too. So, this is, it's my profession, and am I going to moan about it? No. I put myself into a dark place, put myself through that condition, to get into that condition, because I want to be the best and I want to stand out.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that say, oh, you know, this is the best condition I've ever looked. Okay, maybe so.
Yep.
But to me, you look 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I train so hard, I feel like shit. No, mate, you do not know what feeling like shit feels like.
Yeah.
You know, there's guys when I look backstage, as soon as I walk in their tracksuits, gaunt face, them are the guys you got to worry about.
Yeah.
Not the biggest guy sitting backstage with his trackie on, you know, carving up, eating his peanut butter,
man,
smiling and stuff.
Absolutely.
It's the guy in the corner, sunken face, that is, you know, look like death.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, for me, I enjoy putting myself into that condition. I enjoy the process. It's all for the fans, and again, it's for me to remain number one.
Sure. And amongst the pro bodybuilders, you do have one of the biggest, and I'd say probably one of the most loyal fan bases.
Sure.
From, you know, everything that you give to the fans. Tell us about, you were showing me earlier tonight pictures of your gym that you've set up down in Florida.
Yeah.
Tell us about your Project Flex camps. You know, how did they come about? What's the kind of foundation behind that, theory behind that? What are you trying to achieve there?
Well, for me, it's a next chapter.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a circle that everybody likes to stay in. It's a comfort zone. And I'm a businessman as well as a bodybuilder, so I invest in myself, you know, year in and year out. So this is a big leap of faith.
Yeah.
But as you said, I've got a loyal fan base, and I give, you know, I give back as much as I can, as much as I get from my fans.
Yep.
So Project Flex is all about giving back. It's a warehouse in Boca Raton, Florida. It's a gym format. Again, it's going to be a closed off sanctuary. The way I wanted to see it is, people could be knocking my door on a Friday.
Yeah.
The doors are closed until Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you bang or how long you wait. It's open once a month, and that's your home when you come in there. It's going to be a knowledge fest, training fest. You know, I'm going to do these once a month camps where people will walk in, you know, and they're going to get ticket value.
Yeah.
And to me, that it's about giving back again. So people walk away with new training techniques. I'm going to have VIP guests, not just in the bodybuilding world, from all different sports.
Yeah, man.
All different sports. You really don't know who's going to walk in from camp to camp.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed to have some amazing friends that are at the top of the tree in different sports. And you know, they're all a part of what I'm doing down there in Florida. And that's another thing, is being in Florida, being around these people motivate me.
Yep.
And they're all in different sports.
Yeah.
So their goal is to be number one. So when you're around that, you know, that shit rubs off on you.
Yeah, man.
And everybody's driving to be, whether it's business, whether it's sports, whether it's whatever. You know, you surround yourself with that like-minded self people. You only want to push yourself. And again, Project Flex is one of these places where these people will be training at.
Yeah.
So when it's not open to the public, this is their sanctuary.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're going to be filming there. I'm going to be filming a lot of my Olympia prep there. So this is a branch of a branch of a branch that's a brand of myself.
Yeah.
So to answer what is Project Flex, I think you guys are just going to tune in to see, because even I don't know what's going to be coming out next. I know what the foundation is built on, and it's solid. I just want you guys, you know, to be a part of this whole process, because to me it's exciting to give back to you guys and see where, you know, where this next chapter leads. Because again, not just that said, I'm getting involved with a lot of charity stuff there as well. So trying to give back. Because us bodybuilders, you know, we've got like we spoke about earlier, there's a stigma, a misconception, whatever it is. Let's break that mold.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who judge straight away on the look.
Yep.
I'm gonna break it.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to say I'm gonna be the next Arnold. I know I have this cool accent and everything else.
And a cool nickname.
But to me, it's all about moving forward, breaking through stereotypes, and giving back.
Now, Flex, I mean, a lot of people see, obviously, the bodybuilder Flex you know, we've spoken for most of today and gotten to know each other pretty well. And one thing that I didn't realize about you is, you know, behind the bodybuilding, you're a very smart, switched on guy, and you do have quite a significant business streak as well, quite an entrepreneurial streak. So, I mean, outside of bodybuilding, you know, when you get sick of winning Olympias, when you decide to hang up the posing trunks, I mean, where can you see yourself going after competitive bodybuilding?
I think, to be honest with you, Joe, that is the $1 million question. I figure a few people have asked me. I do have an entrepreneur attitude. I see the glass half full in everything I do in life. I'm being very blessed with the upbringing I've had, and my parents have taught me that, you know, if you want something, go after it. So that's why I came to the States. I know we spoke earlier. I built up a very successful business in the UK before, and this opportunity arose in bodybuilding, and I came over to the States, knew one person. And now looking back, I think, oh my gosh, how did I go through them tough times, the ups and downs?
It's a huge risk.
It was
that most people wouldn't be prepared to take. So.
And for me, I was never going to fail. Because I do have that zoned in to the target attitude. But again, looking back, no. And I, obviously a lot of young people come up and say, I want to move to the States, you know, from Europe or whatever else. You know, it was a calculated risk, you know. And the advice I give to these people is, you know, come over, you know, on vacation, test the waters, don't commit yourself too much. And even for myself, it was a calculated, like I said, calculated risk, because I did know one person over here. If it didn't work out, I always had my plan B to go back on. But now
you had an insurance policy.
I had an insurance policy, exactly.
Personal insurance policy,
yes.
Yeah, man.
But I invested so much. I came back and forth. I kept on getting closer and closer. I could taste the goal getting closer. Was there times that I could have stopped and quit? Yes. I had more doors closed to me than I had opened, but when I had them opened, I felt like, wow, I can do this, you know. So
on to the next one.
And it was one step closer. Maybe it was a crawl and a step, but you know, this is why I can get up and do seminars and give motivation to people, because I've gone through more dark days than sunny days way back when. And you know, a lot of people see the success, but they don't see the climb up the mountain.
That's right.
So, you know, I class myself as one of the boys. I'm still, you know, one of the lads when I go back home. You know, my boys that I've known for years, there's nothing changed, other than the fact that I've got a magnifying glass on top of me. The entrepreneur streak has always been in me from a young age. So where I go next with this, who knows? I've been blessed to have a lot of opportunities being put in my way. And again, I think if I took things more mainstream, got myself to be more of a personality, then I think that I'd be pretty happy if I could, again, be a representative of the sport of bodybuilding in the mainstream at some capacity.
Absolutely. All right, man, on to training. This is what everybody wants to know. 3 times 212 Mr. Olympia. They want to know the secrets, the background. So you already touched on the fact of how you met your coach, Neil Hill, at that first show, and he, you know, it helped you get in crazy condition.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the working relationship between you and Neil. You know, you guys have been working together for a while now. How does that, you know, how does that all work?
Myself and Neil, like an old married couple.
Yeah.
we've been together for 12 years. And
a long time.
You know, there's very little loyalty when it comes to coaches in the sport of bodybuilding.
Absolutely.
They'll get to a certain level, and then they think that coach up there will take them to the next step. For me, I've been with Neil from the amateur days, and we're still loyal to each other all the way through. And it's been a very successful partnership. You know, again, you know, I met Neil at my very first amateur. When you think about that, my very first amateur contest way back in Wales, in a small little town. And then 12 years later, 10 years later, you know, I'm standing on that cream of the crop Olympia stage. with my hand being lifted as number one. So I think from both sides, you know, it's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
And, you know, something that I think no words can be conveyed on by saying, you know, what this guy has done for me in terms of reassurance and, you know, motivation and getting in my head at the right times and sacrificing a lot of his personal time to put into me.
Yeah.
So this is why we work together so well, because, you know, Neil's a part of me. So, you know, as I'm with BSN, Neil's with BSN.
Yeah.
We work as a team, and we go where we go, and you know, I don't think the world's ever seen the best flex yet, so stay tuned.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable partnership, and I mean, from my perspective, learning a little bit about it, I wasn't really privy to how far back you guys went and how long you've been working together. It's just crazy that, you know, in Wales, that two guys could team up and effectively take on the rest of the world is what you've done within 12 years, man. It's just amazing. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to bring, you know, in the next 12 years.
Yes.
It's exciting.
Well, I don't know about that. This guy's in the next 12 years, man. Let's talk about the next two first before the next 10 on top.
Who knows?
Again, just to pick up on that, it is exciting, even from my perspective now, even with 3 titles behind me. We had a tremendous year last year, but it was a hard year.
Yep.
We done 5 wins back to back. I started prepping for the Olympia before Christmas. And a lot of people did know that for me, when I prep, there is no cheat days or anything like that unless I get given one by the boss. So Christmas Day, shit didn't fall on my cheat day. So I was tired on Christmas Day. It is what it is. You know, I want that win. And to me, I get so zoned in, it's hard for me actually to cheat when I get a cheat day. So Neil has to call a girl and be like, listen, Flex is fucking eating today. Make sure and take pictures. It gets a little bad, but that all said, you know, we done the Arnold Classic this year, which to get an invite from Arnold himself on the first ever 212 and make history there was amazing. To then go on to the latest shows, the Olympia, then I done Korea, Czechoslovakia, and then I done San Marino, Italy. It was a tough year, very rewarding year, but this year my sole focus is Olympia. So the first half of the year is all business, traveling the world, spreading great, you know, the spreading the word of BSN, or you know, coming over to Australia, coming over to FIBO in Germany, going over to the UK, etc., and then it's all business. I don't have the ability to have an off season anymore, Joe. So my off season starts in June. My weight shoots up, my weight comes down just before the Olympia. So for me, on the road, you know, training with people like yourself, having a great time with the fans. When it's shut shop, it's shut shop. It's all business. So that when I say I'm excited to bring something to the Olympia this year, needless to say, I am, because again, sole focus is the Olympia. Yeah,
and the fans are excited to see it. I tell you what, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's talk about your physique a little bit. You know, at this stage, obviously 3 times 212 Mr. Olympia, your physique doesn't really have any weaknesses. And they say the best bodybuilders are not the bodybuilders with the most strong body parts, they're the bodybuilders with the least weak body parts. I'm sure in the past you had weaknesses. You said that your legs have always been strong. You had a lot of work to do with your upper body. So how do you go about training to bring up weak muscle groups? You know, do you increase frequency? Have you increased, you know, training things 2 or 3 times a week instead of once a week? You know, how do you go about bringing up weak muscle groups?
As you mentioned, my legs are a strong point.
Yeah.
So I took a whole year and a half off my legs. Didn't even take a leg extension. I was banned from the leg room by Neil. True story. He had spies in the gym that reported back to him every leg workout that I was supposed to be on.
You don't understand how many people watching this video right now are envious of that.
Well,
a year and a half off legs.
Listen, I tried to sneak into leg workouts. I tried to do everything. I was literally, Neil has the ability to scare the shit out of some people to the point where I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. I would walk in the leg room. No, you have to get out of here. If Neil finds out, you're going to. So That was way back when I was a teenager, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I took a year and a half off my legs, didn't touch my legs, and it definitely allowed my upper body to grow because I hit my chest, my back, certain weaker muscle groups to be brought up. What I did find is my arms were and if you look at older photos, my arms were a weaker body part. So what I done there is I focus mainly on bicep days and tricep days. So I give them their own day. And again, leaving the legs out, my rotation was hitting chest and back every 5 days, and everything else fall in between them, minus the legs. So everything started growing, you know, filling up. And it was probably only 3 years ago, I would say this legitimately, that I started training chest for the first time.
Wow.
Because a lot of, I was having hit and miss chest days. So now every chest workout is great. And I made it that my chest, because it was so frustrating for me, and I think that's the worst thing ever. If you have a stubborn muscle group, you start getting pissed off, you start getting shitty workouts, because you're already going in the gym thinking I'm gonna have a shit workout.
It's the mentality.
And the mind is such a powerful tool, guys. So I started, I don't know, at the time, I think I must have sat myself down and just had this realization with myself and said, you know what, I must be doing this wrong. So I went over to the bar and I started just pressing with the bar, even though I can feel my chest connected. Never had that. And then I said, okay, I'll put some 25s on. Nothing too crazy, no plates, 25s. And the weight went up over weeks, but every workout counted. I had that mind to muscle connection. And then when I had that frustration going in the gym, I actually couldn't wait for chest workouts.
For sure.
I was like, shit. I wanted it to be like National Chest Day every day. Like most of you guys.
International Chest Day.
But no, for me, it again, it was a stubborn body part, and it still is a stubborn body part. And I appreciate you saying some kind words, but to me, I see so many flaws in my physique. The day that I wake up and look at myself, like some of these guys taking selfies of themselves in the mirror and think, man, I look the shit, is the day to call it quits.
Well, that's it,
But, you know, I'm a bodybuilder, so if there's no improvements to be made, what am I doing up on stage? And don't forget, I'm limited on how much improvement I can make. So, you know, this year, when I say I'm going to step on stage with a different physique, it's these key areas I'm hitting right now, Joe, that you will see the difference in. My condition is obviously not going to change, or I might get a little tad better, according to Neil. But I want to see improvement up there myself, and a refined flex.
Absolutely. So you touched on it a little bit, you know, in terms of mind-muscle connection with your chest. When you look at your workout structure as a whole now, obviously through Neil, you practice the Y3T protocol. Do you train instinctively sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah? So tell us a little bit about that.
Let me just the Y3T workout for me and myself and Neil. We've been pretty much playing with something like that for probably like the 11, 12 years we've been working.
Right from the start.
But there was never a name to it. You know what I mean? There was nothing. Neil didn't come up with this.
It was just the way you trained.
So when people are asking like, okay, well, what did Flex do here? Or what did he do there? They were like, what's the name of it? So this whole Y3T name came up from I don't know where Neil came up with it from, but it was not like we need to put a name to a system. This is something that was done. So the instinctive part of it was that, you know, sometimes I've done 2 weeks of week 2. That's like a combination of the higher reps and the lower rep. You know, the combos that Neil does. And for all the information on Y3T, you can check out Neil's site. So the difference is when I'm on the road, for example, here with you, I can't follow a training system.
Of course.
It'd be ludicrous for me to follow a week 1, week 2, week 3, because I'm hitting different gyms, different locations, and I can't trust other people's equipment. You know, going in on a week 1, which is the heaviest week, and trying to do a stupid amount of weights when, you know, there's crumbling equipment. And then having that mindset like, okay, I've got to have a week 1 here. It's gonna blow my, you know, mindset apart, because I'm so focused in. So when I'm on the road, I do use a lot of initiative. I use a lot of a mixture of high reps and low reps. So your muscle groups are getting stimulated, fast twitch, slow twitch fibers, and a lot of muscle lot of blood gorging is well involved. So when I'm back home prepping for Olympia, we set the plan and everything comes in fruition.
Absolutely.
So
tell us about, obviously competing in the 212 class presents challenges in itself. You know, it's a different way of thinking about bodybuilding. You know, you're limited by the amount you can weigh effectively. And you've already said that, you know, you don't really have an off season now. You're obviously in good condition right now, in the peak of what most bodybuilders would call an off season. How do you go about preparing for the next, well, this year's Olympia, for example? How do you go about making sure that you're going to make that weight class but still improve?
The goal is to look like a bodybuilder in the off season. Nobody wants to stand in line for you know, I say a fat guy with big arms. And I've got so much guest posing, you know, around the world, appearances around the world. These fans want to meet the person that they see in the magazines.
Absolutely.
Granted, I got a big hairy face, and my face is a little puffy, but I still got my abs underneath
and not tanned.
And not tanned. That's Welsh. This is tan for a Welsh guy, my friend.
Well, look, I've got Australian skin, mate, and I think I'm a little bit whiter than you almost.
This guy giving me a hard time. But you know, it's meeting the personality and the person behind the brand.
For sure.
So staying in that off-season condition, promoting the sport, and then when it comes to crunch, I start my off-season, I go up in weight. I go from about 220, 225, which I currently am, up to about 230s, high 230s. And then I sort of come down slowly, 2 pounds a week into the final couple of weeks, and then I dip in right at the end. And believe it or not, a lot of people think, oh, what did you weigh on the day of the show? I actually weigh lighter the day of the show than I did when I weigh in because of water manipulation.
Absolutely.
So, you know, these people say, oh, what you weigh, 218 when you carved up? No, I weigh lighter. Yes, I'm filling up with food, but the time that Neil dries me out and I'm bone dry on stage, you know, I'm actually, if not the same weight or lighter the day of. So I don't care what I weigh. A lot of people get caught up in the scales. As long as I look like I need to look, and you know, three-dimensionally, I'm in shape, top to bottom, side to side, back to front. I've done my job, Neil's done his job, and I've got to do the rest up on stage.
Sure. So what about the nutrition? Now you've said that come pre-contest, everything is up to Neil. So you don't have a weekly cheat meal. It's, you know, if you don't have a cheat meal on Christmas Day, you're not eating on Christmas Day. I mean, how does your nutrition change from not being pre-contest or off-season, whatever you prefer to call it, to pre-contest? I mean, does it relax a little bit in the off-season? You know, do you just make sure that you hit your macronutrient intake for a particular day? Are you concerned about meal timing, carbohydrate timing? What's your kind of mindset with off-season nutrition compared to pre-contest nutrition?
I actually am very relaxed in the off-season in terms of meal timing. I try to eat at least about 5 meals a day when I'm in the off-season because my target isn't to put a lot of weight on, as I said in the previous question. My goal is to maintain, look a presentable professional, and you know, look the part then, shall I say. So when it comes to the crunch, I go from 5 meals up to 7 meals. I don't miss a beat. I turn into, I don't know what it is inside me, something I've had since I was a young kid.
Flick the switch.
If Neil gave me the diet plan on Sunday and said we started on Monday, boom, I'm starting it, I'm up on the, and it's done. It's to buckle this roller coaster when it's on track, it's going to be a hard thing because I'm on it. I'm on it. I already see the end result. And actually, I need the reins pulled back at me a lot of the times because, you know, to me, I get excited when I'm in the gym. I'm a bodybuilding fan, as well as the, you know, the guy that's, you know, flying the flag as the champion also.
Yeah.
I love seeing guys coming up the ranks as well, going off the point and supporting people and trying to guide them in the right direction.
Yep.
But again, it's to pick up what I was saying with the meal timing and everything else. Off season, traveling, missed meals, flights, lack of sleep, horrible.
There's a lot going on. Yeah.
Not expecting to make any gains.
Yep.
Part and parcel of being a professional. A lot of the fans don't realize that, you know, I actually made 1K, which is 100,000 miles on United, by June of last year, which is my new record.
That's when they start chartering planes just for you, isn't it?
Well, I wish I would love to say that, but so needless to say, I do United very well financially.
Yep. Absolutely.
But when it comes to the crunch, as I was saying with Neil, he puts the game plan. I put the blinkers on and let's go. In terms of cheat days,
yep.
I actually was coming down so fast last year for the Olympia. I was having 2 cheat days a week.
Oh wow.
Neil was around me, and I was having sushi, a lot of sushi as a cheat meal.
Yep.
Tremendous amount of clean cheat sushi. So, but I was having it twice a week just to slow my metabolism down. We pulled cardio and everything. So
yeah.
It was you know, a different diet as opposed to the Arnold Classic.
Yep.
Because the Arnold Classic, I was starting at a lower body weight and I had to go up.
Yep.
To get to a good weight to then slowly come in.
Yeah.
This year, I was at a higher, for the Olympia prep, I was at a higher body weight, started coming in, and then my metabolism went out of control in terms of like, everything. So we stopped cardio, started feeding me up more meals. I was eating 8 meals, getting up in the middle of the night to eat 2, just to slow things down. So there's no cookie cutter piece of paper diet. Yep. Everything changes. It's on the day. If I go by what I weigh, because my day is so groundhog, other than the fact that I train, that I make all the minuscule changes on the hop.
That's really, that's incredible for me to hear, knowing that you've been doing this for so long, and within 12 months, the way your body reacts to a prep can
not even that.
Change. That's crazy.
But the same, we even from a junior bodybuilder at 19 years old, we use the same, you know, the same meals.
Same process.
The saying is, if it ain't broken, why try and fix it?
Yeah.
So the game plan was, you know, for 2 meals, gym, or if I don't train after 2 meals, it's 4 meals, train, and then there's another program. But cardio is always on an empty stomach. Yep. And then if my body weight isn't coming down 2 pounds a week, we add in a secondary cardio at night. That's if it's needed at all. Yeah. You know, again, every year's been different, to be honest.
It sounds very reactive.
Yeah. It's all on the fly. All on the fly.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy, nothing radical. Yeah. Just subtle changes here or there.
Yeah.
Or again, increased meals. Yeah. Frequency. Yeah. If things are going, you know, faster than we want. So I was losing, at one point in time, I lost 4 pounds in 2 days. So I was like, okay, back-to-back cheat days or back-to-back high carb days, followed by a cheat day. So I ain't complaining when the boss says. If he's with me, it's not that bad. If he tells me from afar, in the UK, he's like, hey, I want you to cheat this low. So if he's with me, I feel a lot better.
All right. And now tell us about BSN. Yes. Obviously, so you're BSN's key athlete, marquee athlete. Tell us about your favorite BSN products, your favorite BSN supplement. You know, if you had to pick one that you know you think is going to help you the most, which product would that be?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. To be honest, I'm a big lover of the Amino X. Yep. I start my day on it. I have several flavored scoops a day of it.
I saw you drinking it throughout the day today, man. Absolutely.
It was a green apple day today. So, you know, for me, I would say since the frequency of how much I take is going to be Amino X. I love the Synthesis Isolate as well. Yep. That's a big lover of mine. With the new formulated NO Explored as well. That's obviously pre-workout. I don't take too many pre-workouts in the off season because I don't want to burn out. Yeah. Come contest time, it's religiously done. Absolutely. Of course. Yeah. I need the sharp tool working up there to come in, zoned in, get through my workout and have an amazing, productive workout. Yeah. So off season, it's used on the bigger body parts, minus legs. Yeah. And again, so if it was to round off one product, I would say Amino X.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found quite interesting, speaking earlier with you, is you know, a lot of pro bodybuilders endorse supplements or are sponsored by supplement companies, but don't really use a lot of supplements. You're a supplement buff.
Yeah.
Like you love supplements,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And you actually watch our MassiveJoes raw reviews for information on supplements.
This guy wants a plug right here.
I'll plug myself.
He's plugging himself.
But I found that really interesting, is that you actually are a really big supplement user, you know?
I am a big fan, as I said earlier, of the sport in general.
Yeah.
I love content. Knowledge is power.
Yep.
The more you know, the more that you can give back. You know, if you're going to be a professional, give seminars, and you don't know what the hell you're talking about, then you're going to look like a freaking guy up on stage that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So for me, knowledge is power. You know, I diversify a lot of my knowledge in the different aspects of business. You know, again, on the daily, I read business news, I look at the stocks. I do so many different things outside of bodybuilding. Yeah. So then I can have a conversation with somebody that sits next to me on a plane for 12 hours and give that guy is like, wow, this guy is actually not the conceptional body stereotype.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, to me, again, break in the misconception, break in the connotation. So talking about supplements, sorry, ADD going off of my, I'm terrible. I do read a lot of the supplement reviews, and this is why this guy has fallen many times in front of me. I told him earlier, I'm very proud of him. You know, we're a very similar age. He's an entrepreneur, very similar story, started businesses young, and I commended this guy because, again, I'm at the other side of the world. So for your reviews to fall in front of me, to keep me captivated with ADD, you know, it must be something. So, you know, again, and I said to you guys earlier, and off the camera, now we're on. I'm very proud of these guys. They're doing a great job, and you know, they're thinking outside the box, and they're actually helping the supplement industry, not just their business in general. So, yes, going into the show, I can't sleep. Got a lot of free time on my hands at night, staring at the ceiling with my metabolism going out of control. So I put it into good use, and I've locked a lot of these high energy guy right here at 3 in the morning. Massive
the
Joe.
The best time for it.
Why not, right?
Well, Flex, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. We've had a fantastic time together.
Sir.
Guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, man. Stay up to date with everything going on our YouTube channel. I'm going to pop some links in the description box as well. Make sure you follow Flex on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Hit up his website. All the links will be in the description box, so you can stay up to date with one of the most out of the box professional bodybuilders that I personally have ever met. Man, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add for the viewers at home?
I just want to say, guys, to all my Australasian fans and you know, the guys that I met this weekend at the Australian Arnold Classic, you know, I thank you so much. You know, this is why I come back year after year, is because you bring that energy to me. Like I said, I remember coming over here not so long ago, you know, a few years back, and having a small fan base of loyal fans. And now, you know, I've got the ability to actually stand there and have a fan base that stays loyal to me, standing there for an hour, sometimes two, just to get a quick chat and get an autograph and say, hey, look at this picture we took 4 years back, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, look at the comparison. It's great for me to see these people year after year give back to the fans that support me. And again, you know, it's you know, flying the flag in bodybuilding, to bring that title back to Australia for the 3rd time, and say thank you personally to everybody that said thank you to me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter and all these other social medias. So again, thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely, man. Can you hit the viewers at home with our tagline, a little bit of a stay massive?
Guys, you know the line, stay massive.